The Empress orders her generals to hold fire. She wants to understand why this human still fights. Elias is wounded badly. His suit power drops to emergency mode. Blood fills his helmet. He collapses but forces himself back up using a broken rifle as a crutch. The alien army expects him to beg. Instead, Elias laughs and says, "You'll have to earn this world." The Empress studies human war history. She learns humans fight hardest when they have already lost. A massive alien warbeast is released to finish Elias. He knows he cannot win. Elias charges anyway. He overloads his reactor, planning to die taking the beast with him. At the final second, time freezes. A glowing force field surrounds him. Alien troops fall to their knees. The Empress descends to the battlefield in person. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The sky over the battlefield burned. Not with fire alone, but with falling ships, broken weapons, and the glowing scars of alien energy beams cutting through the air. Smoke covered the ground like a dark ocean. The smell of metal, ash, and blood filled everything. In the middle of this ruined world, one human still stood. Captain Elias Rourke moved slowly across the broken stone, his boots dragging through dust and shattered armor pieces. His combat suit was cracked in many places. Warning lights flashed red inside his helmet. His left arm hung useless at his side, burned badly from an energy blast. He was alone. Everyone else was dead. His squad had landed 12 minutes earlier. 12 minutes of chaos. 12 minutes of screaming, explosions, and desperate orders that never reached anyone. The alien empire's forces had fallen from the sky like gods of war. Heavy walkers crushed human tanks. Drones hunted survivors without mercy. Elias had watched his team fall one by one. Still, he walked forward. His rifle was damaged, but it worked, barely. He checked the ammo count. 7 shots left, not enough, it was never enough. Above him, high in orbit, a massive alien flagship hovered in silence. From within it, the ruler of the empire watched the battlefield. Empress Zyravath sat upon her floating command throne, her long dark robes moving as if alive. Her eyes were not human. They shined like deep violet glass, calm and cold. She had ruled for centuries. She had ended civilizations with a single word. Humans were supposed to be no different. Yet her eyes followed one figure on the ground. A single human. "He still lives," one of her generals asked, disbelief in his voice. "Yes," the Empress replied, "and he still advances." The general leaned forward, watching the display. "He is alone, he has no chance." The Empress said nothing. On the battlefield, Elias stopped and looked around. Alien bodies lay scattered across the ground, not many but enough to prove something important. He had made them pay. A drone rose from behind a broken wall and fired. Elias rolled just in time, the energy bolt missing his head by inches and melting the stone behind him. He came up firing, hitting the drone's core. It exploded in a flash of blue light. Elias coughed, blood filled his mouth. His breathing was heavy and uneven. His suit tried to seal a chest wound but failed. Still standing, he whispered to himself. His radio crackled, then went silent again. No command, no backup, no escape ship. He knew the truth. This was his last stand. But if he could hold them, even for a few minutes, then the civilian transports might get away. Earth Command had said the evacuation was incomplete. Every second mattered. Elias forced his legs to move. Alien infantry appeared ahead, tall and armored, their weapons glowing. They expected the human to fall. They had seen it many times before. Instead, Elias raised his rifle. He fired. One alien dropped. The others opened fire. Elias ran straight toward them, screaming in pain as energy burned his side. He slid behind wreckage, reloaded, fired again. Above, the Empress watched in silence. "Why does he not retreat?" the general asked. "He gains nothing by this." The Empress leaned back slightly. "He gains time." The general hesitated. "For what purpose?" "For others," she answered. Elias threw a grenade with his good arm. The explosion knocked 2 aliens to the ground. He didn't wait. He charged forward using the moment of shock. His vision blurred. His heart felt like it would tear itself apart, every step hurt, every breath felt sharp and wrong. He fell to one knee. An alien raised its weapon, aiming carefully. Elias looked up, blood dripping inside his helmet. He laughed. "Come on," he muttered, "do it." The shot never came. High above, the Empress raised one clawed hand. "Hold," she said. The alien froze, confused. Orders echoed through the army. Fire slowed, then stopped. Elias blinked. The shooting had ended. He pushed himself up, shaking. What? The battlefield grew quiet, except for distant fires. He stood there, broken and bleeding, surrounded by enemies who suddenly refused to kill him. The Empress watched his vitals on her display. They were terrible. Any other species would already be dead. Yet he remained upright. She accessed human history files, war records, last stands, names like Thermopylae, Bastogny, Earth cities that burned but never surrendered. A pattern emerged. Humans fought hardest when hope was gone. "Interesting," she whispered. On the ground, Elias took another step forward. Alien soldiers backed away. "You afraid now?" Elias said, his voice weak but proud. "Good." His suit screamed warnings. Reactor instability, core temperature rising. He knew what that meant. A final option. He smiled inside his helmet. "If this is it," he said softly, "then I'll make it count." Far away, deep within alien lines, a massive warbeast was released. It rose like a living tank, armored plates covering its body, weapons growing from its sides. It was designed to crush cities. The ground shook as it approached. Elias saw it and laughed again. "Well," he said, "that's new." He checked his reactor. He could overload it. The explosion would be massive. It would kill him. But it might also destroy the beast. It might buy one more minute. He started the overload sequence. The Empress saw the energy spike instantly. "He plans to self-destruct," the general said. "Allow it." The Empress stared at the screen. The human stood alone, facing death without fear. "No," she said slowly, "enough." Time seemed to stop. A glowing field appeared around Elias, freezing him mid-step. The pain vanished, the noise vanished. The battlefield froze in perfect stillness. Elias' eyes widened. "What is this?" The warbeast halted, locked in place. Alien soldiers dropped to their knees as a powerful presence filled the air. The Empress descended. Her form appeared through light and shadow. Tall and graceful, terrifying and beautiful, she stepped onto the battlefield untouched by fire or smoke. Elias stared up at her. So this was the enemy's ruler. "So," he said weakly, "you finally came yourself." The Empress looked down at him, her eyes met his. "You fought alone," she said. Her voice was calm, clear and perfectly human. "Outnumbered, wounded, without hope." Elias swallowed. "Yeah." "Why?" He laughed softly. "Someone had to." Silence followed. The Empress studied him for a long moment. "Your death," she said at last, "would serve no purpose." Elias felt the field release him. His strength vanished. He collapsed to the ground, expecting the final blow. Instead, he heard her voice one more time. "Take him alive." Darkness closed in. And the battlefield, for the first time, truly fell silent. Darkness did not end Elias' work. It carried him. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he felt was warmth, not fire, not pain. Warmth. His body felt heavy but not broken. The sharp agony that had filled his chest and limbs was gone. He took a slow breath. Air flowed easily into his lungs. That alone felt wrong. Elias tried to move. Invisible restraints held him in place. His arms and legs were free of chains, yet he could not rise. A faint humming sound surrounded him, deep and steady, like a heartbeat that did not belong to him. He turned his head. The room was alien. Smooth black walls curved upward into a high dome. Soft lights floated in the air like stars, glowing blue and white. Strange symbols moved across the walls, shifting constantly. No sharp edges, no doors he could see. "I'm alive," Elias said quietly. His voice echoed slightly. A figure stepped forward from the shadows. The Empress Zyraveth. She looked different up close, taller than any human. Her skin shimmered like dark metal touched by starlight. Her eyes were calm, deep, and unreadable. Power surrounded her without effort. "You are," she said, "for now." Elias let out a slow breath. "Then you didn't bring me here to finish the job." "No," she replied. "Why?" The Empress studied him. "Because I wish to understand you." Elias laughed softly. "You picked a bad time." She did not react. "Your wounds were severe," she said. "You should have died on the battlefield." "Yeah," Elias answered. "I hear that a lot." She waved one hand. A transparent screen appeared showing images of his body. Bones repaired, burned flesh restored, internal damage gone. "You were repaired using our medical systems," she said. "Your species is fragile." Elias raised an eyebrow. "Thanks." "You endured far beyond your limits," she continued. "That is not fragility, that is something else." Silence filled the chamber. Then she asked, "Why did you fight alone?" Elias looked at the ceiling lights. "Because there was no one left." "That is not an answer." He turned his head and met her eyes. "My people were running, civilians, kids, old people, they needed time. I had a gun and a body, so I used them." "For strangers." "They weren't strangers," Elias said. "They were human." The Empress tilted her head slightly. "Your empire does not abandon its soldiers so easily." Elias smiled weakly. "We're not an empire." That answer stayed with her. Far beyond the chamber, deep within the alien flagship, tension spread. The Empress's advisors gathered in council, watching feeds and data. "The human lives," one said angrily. "This is dangerous." "He inspired resistance even in death," another added. "Alive he is worse." "They fight like vermin," a third hissed. "End him." The Empress listened but did not speak. Back in the chamber, she activated another display. It showed human worlds. Earth, colonies, cities, oceans. "You fight with outdated weapons," she said. "Your ships are inferior. Your technology is centuries behind ours." Elias nodded. "I know." "Then why resist?" "Because if we don't," he said, "we stop being human." The Empress felt something shift, not emotion, something deeper. She dismissed the displays. "You understand," she said slowly, "that your species cannot win a war against us." Elias looked straight at her. "Maybe not." "Then your resistance is meaningless." "No," he replied, "it's expensive." For the first time, the Empress paused. Elias continued, his voice calm. "You can beat us, you can burn our worlds, but every time you land, someone like me will be there and will hurt you, again and again, until it costs more than it's worth." Silence stretched. "You believe suffering will stop us?" she asked. "No," Elias said, "I believe it will change you." The words lingered in the air. The Empress turned away. She remembered her own past. Chains, whips, a world ruled by conquerors. She had risen through blood and fear. She had built her empire so that no one would ever enslave her again. Fear had kept order. Fear had kept peace. But fear had never created loyalty. An alarm sounded softly. "Empress," a voice said. "Human fleets are moving, they prepare a final strike." Elias closed his eyes. "They won't stop, even if it kills them." "I know," she said. The advisors returned, their voices sharp. "End this now," one demanded. "Destroy Earth, break them completely." "If we hesitate," another warned, "others will resist." The Empress looked at the human on the platform, broken, small, unafraid. "How many will die if we destroy Earth?" she asked. "Billions," came the answer. She was silent for a long time. Then she made her decision. "Release him." The chamber went still. Empress, an advisor, said. "Release the human," she repeated. "Give him a ship, supplies, a warning." "This is madness." "No," she replied, "this is strategy." Back in the chamber, Elias felt the restraints fade. "You are free," the Empress said. He stared at her. "You're letting me go." "Yes." "Why?" She looked at him. "Because killing you would prove your people right." Elias stood slowly, unsteady but alive. "And the war?" She turned toward the stars. "It ends here." Moments later, Elias stood aboard a small alien craft, watching the massive fleet around him pull back. Weapons powered down, ships turned away. Human sensors across the system screamed in confusion. The Empress opened a final channel. Humanity, her voice echoed across space. You are not weak, you are not insignificant, you are costly. A pause. We choose not to pay that price. The fleets withdrew. Elias' ship jumped to human space. He returned a hero, though he never felt like one. The galaxy changed that day. Rebellion sparked across alien worlds. Stories spread of a human who stood alone and did not fall. And far away on her throne, the Empress watched the stars. If one human can stand alone, she whispered, then an entire species can never be conquered. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy feared humans. Not for their power, but for their refusal to surrender.